Welcome back to B Boys Radio, Wisconsin Voices. I guess we back in the mix again. Thank y'all for tuning in every Monday and Tuesday with us over here at WNOB 860, 106.5 FM. We're just getting everything going. We do got guests today. We just gonna get that going as well. But before we get to the guests, we always like to shout out WNOB and the staff, make sure they take care of us over here. Shout out Jermaine, shout out Byron, Debo, all the crew, executive team, administrative team, whatever you call yourselves around here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all. Jermaine, what's going on, man? You know, we usually start off with our little shoot the shot situation, you know. Shoot the shot.
Hey,
yeah.
Listen here, man. I mean, I'm doing pretty good, man. Just seeing some of the stuff that's happening around the city. That's kind of disturbing. From seeing the guy last night over on Valete.
Yeah, the other high speed chase.
Another high speed chase. But then on top of that, you hit a car, fly into the
it was like
cell phone
concrete
station.
building. It was a building or a store. Oh, that's it. Right there in the corner.
Yeah. What's that? 35th.
Yeah.
And but then just not caring about anybody else that's around you. You so reckless. You flying through lights. You hit somebody, then you get out and run. After you caused all of this damage. It's just real disturbing, man. And I just pray for our city, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so common, so many scenarios and cases going on out here across the city. So you can't really, put a grasp on everything. It's not realistic to say that, we be able to tackle every situation that come out, because you don't know who just snap.
Yeah.
Like we keep talking about mental health. We keep stressing the issue, and I will always continue to promote it. Yeah. And I'm definitely going to be working on something through Wisconsin Voices for mental health, because I think we still need to continuously always practice just the reminder of that and bringing folks together, especially with all the things that's going on, not just that, but, politically related. People just sitting in the house, they not comprehending what's going on with the election stuff correctly. They listen to everything that's coming off instead of really trying to they're going off of TikTok, social medias. They're not really going off of what's really in the news. So they're not really building up their own fear and keep, their own little mental fear. And so we're gonna talk about a lot of that, and I'll just bring some real professionals in. We're gonna have some more conversation and some things that I'm thinking about putting together. So I do want to thank you for always shouting out the real stuff that's going on in the community, because that's what it's about. Whether it's north side, south side, northwest, southwest, east, whatever, we need to highlight it all, because it's our city. We need to make sure that we're paying attention to it. So on a lighter note, I'm going to bring in these guests that we got in. Thank y'all for joining. How y'all feeling today, gentlemen?
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming back, Shannon, as always. Todd, it's your first time on Be a Voice with us? Okay, well, thanks for coming, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having
me. Yeah. We like to I like to switch it up, y'all. One day we may have some artists in here. Next day, we got the board president of Wisconsin Voices in here. So the switch up is always the best way to do it, Shannon. Just roll the dice. Never know what the day gonna be like. Right. So I always like to make sure we're doing official intros into this. I'll let y'all do your own intros today. But again, I want to thank y'all for coming to Be a Voice Radio over here at WNOB, and y'all can take the floor.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. Appreciate the time to kind of discuss some of these topics. As you said, my name is Shannon Ross. I am representing really just overall the criminal legal system work that a lot of us do locally and across the country. More specifically, I run an organization called The Community, which is the hat and the shirt that I'm wearing right now. And we focus on pre-entry, helping individuals who are incarcerated become as prepared as possible prior to release, or even if they're not getting out, just how do we have individuals able to live their best life, most productive life, most healthy life while inside, and in the ways that benefits people that are coming home. And then we do a lot around the narrative in our space of trying to correct the way that we're seen, the way we see ourselves, create more opportunities and more empowerment among our demographic. And outside of that, I have other projects in the same space, locally and nationally, as well as being the board chair for Wisconsin Voices, as you mentioned.
Full plate. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, Ty, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks for asking. How you doing?
We're pretty good, man. Thank you. Hey, the sun is out, man. I'm trying to absorb every little bit of
100.
sunlight we got, because Sunday was crazy. It was like cloudy on the north, and then it was real sunny on the south, but it was wild. But so I'm taking all this sun in every day. So thank you. I appreciate that for asking. So what's going on, man? What's the intro?
I'm Todd Jones. I'm a representation of the it's kind of cliche is to say that you're a representation of the community, but that's what I represent. You know what I'm saying? I represent my community. I represent communities that I'm not even aware of. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I say that because I represent humanity, right? I currently work for an organization, Advanced Peace. That's an organization that's geared around gun interruption, gun violence interruption. You know what I'm saying? We're no different from other organizations, but we're different from other organizations in being that we go after, we engage those who are considered to be those that's killing, have the influence, the, you know what I'm saying, the means to do it, but just have for some reasons or whatever, you know what I'm saying, been able to not evade, but, you know what I'm saying, exist in the communities and their harms continue. So we go in as an organization, as individuals, neighborhood change agents, and we just emote with these cats, man. You know what I'm saying? They be our brothers, they be our nephews, they be our sons, really daddies. So it's just going in and relating to them with a story about, hey, I know what y'all going through. Like for real, I've done what y'all lie about doing. I've done what y'all think is cool to do. You know what I'm saying? And just showing them a different way and not just telling it to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm real clear about in this line of work and how we do it, that I don't encourage none of the cats that I deal with to put their pistol down. And that sounds kind of like oxymoronish or dichotomy in a sense, but we have different shared realities. You know, I can sit here and talk to you and tell you about my life and how I feel you should do it, but then when you walk out that door at 2:30, your reality is different than mine. Somebody trying to kill you. So what I do is, in the time that I got with you, I just emote with you. I tell you my testimony. I show you how to move a little bit different. And the way, you know what I'm saying, if you survive one day, you feel comfortable enough. If you survive 2 days, you survive 2 days, and you start to feel like you're more comfortable with the adaptation from that to that. So I just show that, and just more importantly, what it requires is presence. Like, you gotta be there. Like, you really, because a lot of us ain't got no pops, ain't got no big brother. Like, who finna show us how to be a man out here? Moms? That ain't finna happen, right? Or it is happening.
Yeah.
You
it has happened.
Or it has happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's we here. But like I say, I represent the community, man, and I'm here to really vibe about my boy Adam. WS right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna definitely get to that. Have you seen, like, so you say you pretty much on the ground a lot with that? How's that with the reception within the work that you're doing when you on the ground in these spaces across the city and the places that you do work with? How is the community receiving Advanced Peace?
It's very receptive, because the thing is, who's the messenger?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people are receptive of messages depending on who the message come from. And the whole thing about with community violence, intervention, interruption, interaction, whatever we want to call it, your reputation enters the block, enter the homes way before you do. Somebody gonna know you. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna hear of you. And if you solid, then you know what I'm saying, you coming in with an added bonus, I guess, with credibility, that you're able to come in because you got shared experience, you got a learned experience, and people that saw how you moved in certain situations, whether right or bad. They saw how you moved in certain situations, and they like, okay, because in the hood, we judge solidness off of chaos, how you perform in it, what you do under it. You know what I'm saying? You a real nigga if you don't go in that police station and tell on something. That's considered the realest of the real. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to you a real nigga if you there for your son.
Yeah.
You there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it is. No, it's no, it is.
Getting that messaging out.
Yeah. I was looking at something the other day, and it was just kind of just crack a little joke. Dude walked up on this dude on the street. He was a street dude, and his girl, they was like in Santa Monica Pier or something. He said, "Hey, bro, got a question for you. Would you cheat on your girl, or would you tell on the homies?" He said, "Cheat on my girl, man. I ain't never telling on the homies. Is you crazy?" And just kept, and he reiterated it again and kept walking. But you should have seen the look on his girl face, boy. Then they slow mode. They
know he was lying.
Yeah.
He telling on the homies.
You think he telling on the homies? Yeah. So yeah, I just had to throw that in there, man. But yeah, I just want to know, because I know that's the biggest thing. Like, who's the person that's coming down there to support or saying something to the community? You know, and I hear that all the time. Like, in some of the work we do with Wisconsin Voices, they like, man, some of these organizations we work with, some people don't want to deal with the people on the ground in the streets in the hood. When I'm in the hood, they like, man, y'all good, but they don't be popping up and saying nothing to us unless it's woo woo woo. You pop up, you pull up, and whatever. But that's the difference. Why folks have to show some care, not just around election season, and and even just in that space when it comes to crime and sensitive situations, we definitely have to make sure that we're there, not just sparingly. We actually, like you said, pulling up, being present. So thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, I know y'all want to talk about some of the conversation and some topics. Shannon, how you feeling, man? What's going on? I know we talked a little bit last week, but oh, we got a call. Yeah, let's go ahead and get the call. I know it ain't for me. Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices. Bryan Sanders.
How you doing, fellas?
Hey, what's going on?
This is Rick calling from Germany.
Hey, guten Tag.
Guten Tag. Street macho has had a place in African American culture for about 50 years, but it will not allow us to survive the next 35 years. I'm done, fellas.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it, Rick from Germany.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. All right, so back to Shannon. Yeah, the toughness. Hey, we gotta start getting smart in a lot of spaces, but toughness is always gonna be in the community, especially. But I know. We just gotta just do it smart. It's all about the strategy, I guess, right?
I think. Just to segue with what he was talking about, I think of a lot of the times where inside facilities where a lot of like Todd, Adam, Roy, so many of the folks that we work with grew up from 15, 16, 17 in prison, and you adapt to a certain lifestyle in there to survive, that then becomes not useful whatsoever when you get out, right? And like he was saying, there are certain things that we maybe did at one point in our life that is no longer valuable. And how do we both, one, change and shift in our own life, but then how do we also allow other people, or how do we, being the observer of somebody else who has to take that shift, how do we say, okay, I'm going to give this person the grace to make that shift and to be somebody that is not who I maybe had seen them as one point in their life. And, I guess the segue to that is what we're talking about with a lot of the commentary that's been around the appointment of Adam for OCWS director is based on something that happened in his past 25 years ago.
I think said 95. Or was it 95?
It was a minute ago.
Yeah,
and once you're over 20, it doesn't matter anymore with the rest of the numbers. It's a while ago.
Yeah.
And I think a couple of things that just kind of come to play for a lot of us that know Adam very well, but not even just those that know Adam, those that are involved in this work and that are impacted, right? You see somebody like Adam and you get a position, and I think talking to Andrew, right? He was like, when I saw that made me think I could be a senator, right? Like, just look at the way that amplifies and energizes people that have been marginalized and that have, by their own doing, by and large, gone through the system, but still have a significant amount of value to bring to society and themselves and their families. And the optimism and confidence to do that seeing something like this appointment makes you feel like, damn, there is no ceiling like I thought it was there. I actually can go higher. And like, I think there's one part of it that for a large demographic of us that have been on one side of this issue, hearing the commentary and seeing it, we've been like energized by it. It's like, damn, like that's inspirational. And that the mayor did it too. Like, it wasn't like something he just worked his way in and made his own business. Like, there's plenty of folks that have made their own business and entrepreneurship, and that's great. Being appointed by somebody who could get all the blowback and negative attention for appointing this person, it was really, I think, inspiring for a lot of us to see that, and just, it couldn't have been a better person. Those of us that know Adam, and again, conversation isn't even really about Adam,
right? It's
about like what things like that mean beyond the initial just person in position. It's like how much more positive energy and productivity and results come from seeing something like that, because like if you can't believe it, if you can't see it, so now it takes away excuses that certain people might have had in their own energy in life. So I'm curious.
Get things done with something in their background. I agree. Yeah, totally. How you feel about it? Before you can get to that, I see both sides, because for me, I've never spent no time, but I've worked in the training and facilitating for the food share workforce programs for almost 7 years and other programs. So I dealt with a lot of young and older formerly incarcerated folks
Mhm.
and seeing success. I mean, cats out here, construction businesses, transportation, dudes was having limo businesses. I mean, quick. So you see the rebound, and these dudes was 15, 20. I had all types of cats locked up for all types of stuff, you know what I'm saying, through that program, because you was meeting the community. It was my biggest jump into the community at that space, because every week was a new class, every week was a new group. So many people got out these programs, so many people have just become success. I see these folks every day driving through the city with new contracts, city contracts, doing construction. So
Right.
you know, I see both ends. I see the concern on that other side, but that's where you go back to what you were saying, Shannon. It's like, this is that motivating piece for a group, a big population of folks who never thought that they could see somebody in some of these spaces. So I just want to say in my piece that I totally see both ends. But Todd, I just definitely want to hear how you feeling, because it looked like you was ready to go.
And some of it, like even just hearing you vibe about that, most of, I think, is when people find out what they felt was a reason to dislike a person is not valid. I'm trying to explain this, how I thought about it, right? How it came to my mind.
Yeah, go ahead, break it down.
But with Adam in this position, a lot of the vitriol that you see coming at him, it's indicative of what you just were speaking about. You spoke about how you are familiar with many success stories post incarceration.
Yeah.
The messaging of those success stories, however, are not articulated, they're not expressed, they're not shared, because of this very same reason. The backlash.
Nobody want to deal with that.
The feeling that
Just keep it.
You did, like, what are you doing now? I've had people, and I did 25 years in prison, from the time I was 15 to the time I was 40 years old. I'm 44 right now. Me and Adam was we was in Green Bay. We went to Green Bay Correctional Institution, and this is not a brag or anything like that, but people was intentionally trying not to, grown men, go there because of what they knew and how they knew the penitentiary was and how it got down. And I saw it. You know what I'm saying? I can't explain it to nobody. I can't really explain it, because it's gonna sound like some form of justification or things like that, or you're not remorseful for it, but I saw it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw tears, I saw crying, I saw Adam just wake up in multiple, like, you kick the door, somebody just wake up, solitary confinement, you just wake up and you hear somebody kicking the door. You don't got to tell you what's going on. It's a dream dying. It's something crushing inside somebody. I saw that. I saw the pivot. I saw the consequences of the pivot. You know what I'm saying? The pivot that so many of us won't even endure.
Yeah.
Because it requires alienation and things like that, right? So when I got out, I released back into 53206, released back into 24th and Place and Locust. That's where I got out. That's where I killed that. You know what I'm saying? Got right back out there to it. And as changed as I was as an individual, as much therapy as I did in the joint as an individual, as much counseling in the penitentiary I did as an individual, I'm getting out like I'm finna change my family. I got this. I'm smart enough. I know the machine. And then to get out and see that it ain't that.
Yeah.
No indictment, no slight against nobody else, but you the eyeball. So the first thing you do, or you want to do, is you get right back to it to prove that, no, I'm the architect of this over here. Don't get it twisted. I endured that. I went down that path, found success in it, was happy, got a lot of adulation from the peers, was dying in the inside. I checked into a mental institution. I had called my boy Shannon. You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, I feel bad. And he was like, those that don't go should feel bad. Right? Boom. So I don't know what I'm finna do. Adam reached for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I heard you talk to somebody in the space that you didn't know I was paying attention to. I saw you. I think that's what you should focus on. Pushed me in the field, gave me my first job You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Gave me my first job. So it's in understanding that and knowing that that is the individual that is the head of a department of any kind. You know what I'm saying? I'm already baffled that you a CEO, that you started something. I'm already mind blown by that because again, the odds are that ain't what we supposed to be vibing off of. You ain't supposed to have that type of success.
Yeah.
And then I see you do it humbly and behind, and you doing the unorthodox, where you trying to bring factions together that we swore to hate. For real.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't relate to it. He used to tell me, and with my organization, I got to be clear about this. We don't deal with law enforcement at all. We don't feel like law enforcement is needed to heal in the communities that we go in. You know what I'm saying? So that ain't something that we subscribe to. But I'd be a damn fool to say that law enforcement is not needed, even coveted. And to see the way in which Adam has managed to bridge that gap with integrity and dignity, still being a part of the process, because that's our biggest flaw, is the messaging and the lack of integrity that we feel that is captured at the police and the dignity that they show towards us.
Yeah.
That's where it's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I see we got Desi on. I want to add one more thing before she comes on, is that Adam made this comment yesterday in the interview, and it was to the point of, we've talked about this a number of times. If you want to get your plumbing done, you don't go to someone that does roofing, right? Like, who better than to address violence, wellness, safety, youth, rebellion, than people who have lived that, who were that exact entity, that mind state. So yeah, you could have somebody who understands the department, who understands budgets, who understands personnel at a level that OCWS has. Sure. Is that person going to strategically understand the depth and gravity and have the passion to dig into what it is like to be who we were, who is out here now that we're trying to address? I'm not convinced about that. I think we've seen that time and time again across the country, where people who are put in positions that have the professional background, they're not the ones that deeply understand the issue and the people that we're mostly trying to connect with. And that's not a knock on any other candidate. That's just speaking about this specific scenario. It is a perfect fit. It is not a person that's not skilled. It's a person that doesn't have a background in certain aspects. And as Reggie said yesterday, you're never going to get a candidate that's everything checked off.
Yeah.
You're not. But certain ones are going to be really powerfully difficult to find, and some of them can be learned. And I think with something like Adam, you got something that is rare, very rare.
Okay.
And that's a skill set that you can't find that much.
And if we've been all the way candid in 100,
yeah,
man, there's so much division in the city.
Yeah.
Between executive directors and heads and things like that. That's what we don't really want to talk about. There's some historical traumas that exist that is preventing certain offices from maximizing their capabilities.
I cannot say you're not wrong about that at all.
You know what I'm saying?
You're not wrong about that at all. Real quick, Ty, we're gonna take a break.
Right.
Take two calls. We got the first caller. Caller B of Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices. Thanks for calling in. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. This is Desalyn.
Hey, Desmond, how you doing? Good morning.
I'm great. Three of my favorite men on. Hey,
I get some love. Oh, hey, down for the pull up today. Look, I seen the door was open. I should have walked in.
You should have walked in, right? Okay, yeah, but I just want to call everything that they said that I've been hearing is exactly. You started it off with the mental health, mental wellness piece of it, and something that is desperately needed within our community. We won't end nothing until we get that correct. Yeah. So always remember, you have a whole clinic right across the hall from you. But next, I want to amplify what Shannon and Todd were speaking on as far as they're coming home. You know, when people go in, they're coming back home, and we got to start within and start with ourselves. I think, and I'm not tooting nobody's horn or knocking anybody else, but I agree with everything that Shannon just said as far as getting that candidate in that understands and respects. It ain't just about understanding. We have to respect everyone. And I didn't know anything about Adam until I actually met Todd, but I knew of the work, the reentry work, because I am someone that I work within myself, within the people that I touch and my community actually. And I know a lot of people that's there. I've heard stories. You know, I've dealt with my husband that was in for a total of about 27 years all together. So I know that feeling. I know how it is to try to help rebuild that man coming home and or woman, right? But I know that when I first ever heard about Adam, I knew nothing about his background, but I knew that he was amplified and exemplary for the work that he's doing. And for this position, I couldn't speak of no one better to know what it's like to be empathetic and respectful of everyone involved. So I wanted to add that in there. And again, toot the horn about mental wellness, as Todd stated, re-entering back into this community after that time, going right back to where you came from is extremely difficult, and to build on that. So I want to give kudos to Todd for building that up all the way. Like, I'm really happy for him on where he came from and where he is now, because he got about 20 years under his belt out here, and it's only been 4. He's done way more and took what that negative and made it a positive. So I just want to say that, and I know I was talking too much, but that's it.
I appreciate you for calling in, Desert. Thanks for listening too. Thank you. I'll come over there and see you soon too. So we gotta catch up.
Okay. All right.
All right. We're gonna call it. We'll be right back with the next caller. So hold on with us. Be a Voice Radio Wisconsin Voices here with Todd and Shannon. See you in a second. And we're back. Blue Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices, sitting here with Shannon Ross and Todd Jones, just talking about just the views of OCWS. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I've been playing around with that. So yeah, we just talking about it, and we just having some off-air topics, and just wanted to go into some of the next steps. So I know we were talking about a few things before, and Shannon, I just want to open up the floor to you and see what angle you want to hit the next with the OCWS conversation.
Yeah, I know we got a caller on the line. So
oh yeah, that's right.
You want to do that first?
Yeah, we do a caller first.
Okay.
All right, caller. Be a Voice Radio. Good morning.
Good morning, brothers.
Hey, good morning.
From listening to you, you sound good. Like you might know something about the people. Too many people don't know that. I'm a teacher for over 50 years.
Thank you.
I'm 28 years old, reversed.
I hear that.
And one thing for sure is, as a teacher, I used to try to teach my students, that nobody's better than they are, and you're not better than anybody. That's hard to put into play, but you need to work on it. Everybody needs to work on it. Most people are very, very selfish, and all of the bad stuff that they do is defense of people, keep people from really knowing them. And I think y'all have a good handle on things, and y'all have a good one.
Thank you. We always take that wisdom. Appreciate that. Now, that kind of aligns what you was talking about when you was just saying, people are selfish, and sometimes they're selfish in their mindsets, and the way they view things, and just some of the narrative that's going out here. So could you share some of your thoughts on that?
Yeah, one of the things I think that's been also particularly troubling in this whole thing is the language, right? And I got a shirt that says I am correcting the narrative, and a big part of that is just understanding the power of words that we use and the way we label people and we label ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. Our work around narrative is not just it initially started out as being for demographics, communities outside of the impacted space. So like, more white suburban conservative areas could understand what it means to be a person with a record, and ideally open up opportunities and like shift the way that they look at that population. Mm-hmm. What we discovered pretty quickly is that the way we view ourselves is the exact same, right? The way that we view ourselves being negative and having a ceiling because I have a record, I can't get a job, I can't do this, no one's going to give me a chance. That's going to impact my trajectory more than anyone else's obstacle they put in front of me. So if I can overcome that view of myself, mm-hmm. everything else becomes easier. Mm-hmm. And so in that, there's been this commentary very oftentimes of labeling Adam as a convicted killer. The news last night, great interview mm-hmm. with Gideon Verdine. Mm-hmm. The headline was "Convicted Killer Taking Over OCWS." Like, mm-hmm. what is the reason we're doing that? It's clickbait, right? Mm-hmm. People are going to click that because that grabs their attention more. All right. But at the same time, as a society, like especially media and everybody, we have to be conscious of the responsibility we have around the way we talk about things, right? The same way you would get mad if somebody came up and called you a B, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. Exact same thing. Like they come up and say, "Hey, I think that you were kind of like mean in the thing you said." Mm-hmm. You would take that a whole different way. One is I'm gonna swing on you. The other one is let's talk about that. What you mean? Right. So language is so important in the way we approach a situation and the way we are being watched and listened to by other people. And then we convince other people that this person is negative, bad view right away off the bat by that label, instead of even saying person who spent time in prison, right? Yeah. A person who has, even maybe you want to say a person who has a homicide case. It's the way we label folks is so powerful in the way that we and other people see them, and then the way that they can even do a job, be in society, and so forth. And so it's just this general conversation around language and how unnecessarily we use things, and how powerfully we can be engaging with language to build up people, build up ourselves, and not sabotage ourselves, mm-hmm. right? Because one of the things that we talk about a lot is the way we carry stories. And so it's not a matter, like for me, if you come up and ask me what I was in prison for, I did 17 years, I'm not going to tell you. Unless it's somebody I know that did time and you can understand what it means to be a person that did time and have a violent crime. I'm not going to talk to you about it because I don't trust that you aren't going to sabotage yourself to see a ghost the second I tell you what I did. I'm not that person, but you are only going to see that person the second I tell you what I did. Yeah. And so in order for me to help you, I want you to ask better questions. You deserve to know if I'm safe to be around. You deserve to know if I'm changed, if I'm stable. You deserve to know that. Let's help you get to questions that are going to get to that answer. Because if I don't know what I was in for, I ain't going to get you there. Because I can tell you, I know many a scumbag that never was in prison. And I know many a person that's a beautiful, wonderful human being that I would trust with everything in my life who did decades in prison. Right. So like, that's not getting you the answer. And so like, just understanding this language we use around convicted killer, describing people by their crimes. We don't call people liar the rest of their life because they lied on somebody once. Right. We don't call you adulterer because you cheated one time in your life. Like, so like, let's be more conscious of what we're doing to ourselves and other people when we use words, because that's not just a small thing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Tom, I asked for your comments on that. Look like we got another caller. All right, caller, Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
My name is Colette, and good morning, Shannon. I'm the host. I'm sorry. I don't listen too much to radio, but I saw your post this morning, Shannon, and I thought, okay, this is the opportunity to say something. You know, when I got the word that Adam was taking this position, I thought a couple of things. I thought there's a scripture that says that the first shall be last and the last shall be first. And then when I started seeing the comments, and that's no hit to anyone because there's a lot of people doing work in the community. But when I started seeing the comments, I got to say I had a righteous indignation. I was not happy about what I was seeing, but I expected it because the truth of the matter is that in our community, there are people who don't expect reform to really happen. They expect for people to go off and recommit crimes and stay in a cycle that has obviously been broken by quite a few people. And I'm thankful to know a lot of them in this season of my life. But the other thing is that the possibility of knowing what healing really looks like in our community is, I think, what's more at hand. Because when I met Shannon, Adam, and Todd, and Brother Roy, and a few other people, I realized that what was set before me by my son being murdered in the city of Milwaukee was that I would never sit in the room with people who had committed that particular crime, that I would have a hatred for those, and that they would never have an opportunity or a chance to even be in the same space with me. It was set up that my mind would be that way because that is the way oftentimes people view it. But I'm grateful that I found healing before I found them. Because when they came along, it changed the perspective of even the healing path I was already on. And so I think this opportunity for Adam is to bring that perspective in our community, open the hearts and minds of people who have been maybe healing in the wrong direction. I'm not even sure it's healing. I think it's more of a repetitive cycle, unfortunately. And so I think that this is a breath of fresh air that makes people uncomfortable. And one of the things that Adam said, and I'll let this go, in the first press conference was that he was going to apply pressure. And I got to thinking about that is that, oftentimes in order to become something good, it takes some pressure. It takes change. It takes uncomfortability in order for us to do what it is that we were predestined to do. All right. So that's my comment.
All right. Thank you for calling. So me and you had a conversation, and I remember it's been mentioned a couple of times too that the applied pressure comment being made, and what was your views on that?
My thing
or
is,
what have you heard
when you say, well, first of all, that you are new and nobody knows who you are, and you come in there talking about you're going to apply pressure, it's not going to work, because if you don't build a relationship with these guys, meet them where they're at, then you can pull them up to where you're at. But if you coming in trying to strong arm, trying to tell them we gonna do this and do that, and they already not listening to their mama and daddy, they gonna look at you like, who is you? So you have to meet them with love. You got to come in Meet them where they're at. Build a relationship, because in order for anybody to receive anything from you, they got to have a relationship with you. And one thing I know for sure, people will forget what you say, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
Mhm.
So if you build a relationship with them, you show love, because even scripturally, the Bible says, with love and kindness will I draw, not applying pressure. It's love and kindness. So if you really want to reach these young people out here, you don't have to do what they're doing, but meet them with love. Meet them at their level and see them eye to eye. Then you can bring them up to where you at. But you trying to strong arm them, they not going. They go buck back like goats.
Yeah.
So
How y'all
and
think?
man, thanks for that, because that was dope. Because that's exactly what he was talking
Man.
about. Hey, so check it out. That night, immediately, like it was like, what the hell he mean?
Yeah,
you know,
I said the same thing.
Mine is hitting. Now I'm like, I'm so caught up in it. I'm like, look at my guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm really not hearing none of the interview. I'm like, that's bro. Dog is a, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm throwing up all type of signs.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, real talk, real talk.
my dog.
Yeah.
And it came, my phone get to hitting. Hey, what do you mean about this and that?
Yeah.
We had dinner that night, me, him, and a couple other people that's very credible.
Yeah.
They have to tell it from they. And I didn't. I wish he would have had the opportunity to talk about what he meant.
It was, that's
you know
what
what I'm
press
saying?
conferences, especially
Yeah.
short term.
Like
yeah,
I wish
like,
he could have talked,
wasn't
because he wasn't able to. Because when I didn't ask some elders of mine, Preston. Hey, we sitting there kicking it. Hey,
yeah,
congratulations. Hey,
yeah.
what did you mean
Yeah.
by
Real talk? Yeah,
by that?
pressure.
Though?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's dog whistling to
Yeah.
my community.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And me knowing him, I felt like I knew what he meant, but I didn't know what he meant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And as he talked about it, he said, one thing that's not being applied to the communities is love. That's one thing that we not bringing to the community. Ain't nobody pressuring the community with love. We pressure the community with negativity.
And you know what would have been so great is if he would have led off saying that, instead of leading off saying, I'm gonna apply pressure.
Yeah, because those sound bites get you, and there's some certain sound bites that's how they.
That's his first.
Draw
I mean,
in.
I'm not making no
Views.
excuse for him, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like I wish a lot of things about that rollout.
Yeah.
would have been a lot
Because,
better.
dude, it was
Because that was
Man,
Sarah Scott. That
man,
was some Sarah
real
Scott material right there. Middle school, how they rolled it out.
Yeah.
Just in being 100 with it.
Yeah.
They didn't give him he didn't give himself a shot, but he should have been a little bit more groomed up and laced about certain things and understand the messenger. The messenger was horrible.
Man, Doc.
It was a couple words. You know what I'm saying? That was just horrible.
Like when you
Right?
said, I'm not a Democrat.
I'm
like,
not a
you should have
Democrat.
said
Yeah.
You neither.
Like
that's what you meant, but you
he
didn't
was
say that.
immediately finna fight. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what you mean by that? Because
Yeah.
you know, I don't roll like that either. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't nothing. I ain't no party or nothing. But what you mean? He was like, I was finna say that I ain't gonna rubber stamp anything just because I got hired by a Democrat, nor am I a Republican would I
Right.
rubber stamp. But again, those things are
In the
for him to
moment,
explain.
Yeah, first time.
You know
like,
what I'm
that's
saying?
why.
But when I heard that later about the pressure comment, when it started to come to me, I'm like, that don't sound good.
Yeah,
That's
at
dog
all.
whistling in my community.
At all, because that's
especially
what's in the-
understanding what's going on at this time. You talking about applying pressure, and we leave that hanging when dog up in DC
just said the same thing.
with the military
Yep.
patrolling the streets. The first, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's hold on, what that mean?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that was one of them things, but understanding the cloth that this brother is cut from,
Yeah.
the way in which he moved.
See, but you know what, family? The only way, man, that you would understand the cloth and which way he moved is if you get to know him. If you build that
get to know him.
relationship,
And-
you got to
Yeah.
build that
And
relationship.
that's where he has to be radical.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's like we consider the mayor hire a haymaker.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because nobody expected that. That was a swing from nowhere.
Yeah.
How do we get to that point?
Yeah.
Where is our community at to where we needed a haymaker?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To
Yeah.
where we needed a haymaker.
Hmm.
Often compare this, oftentimes in sports, and I'm a real sports guy.
Yeah.
You know, in the NFL, they created the Rooney Rule.
Yeah.
Because certain people wasn't getting shots that should have been had shots. It was the good old boys. They, no matter what, the good old boy was gonna catch a job. Sometimes it don't work. Nothing should be rubber stamped. That's where we go wrong in the community, because there's no accountability held. You know what I'm saying? Like, this bigger than it to me. I don't understand where the voice was at about the school system. I don't understand where the vitriol came about the housing situation with HUD. There's many things in our community that I don't really understand about how our voices don't come up, but then our voices do come up. And I understand exactly why that happened, but I don't understand why it continues to happen. If that makes sense. Why do we continue to be like this? You know what I'm saying? So that's one, when I heard that pressure afterwards, after it got to coming to me and people got to talking to me, and then I heard his explanation, I also wish that he could have expressed that in that moment. You know what I'm saying? But understanding what Jermaine just said is integral, and this is another thing about building relationships, because there's relationships that need to be built in the community immediately. One of the biggest frustrations that I think people have is they don't even know what the office does. They don't even know what the office does. Some people still call it the Office of Violence Prevention. They don't even know what the office does, because relationships wasn't capitalized on, they wasn't built, they wasn't forged, they wasn't solidified in the way to where people will have an understanding of, okay, what this outfit really is, because I would challenge people to really understand it. You know what I mean? So this is an opportunity to,
I'm always big. Excuse me for cutting you off. I'm always big on telling folks on the show and everywhere, you got to research. You got to hop out them comfort zones here in Milwaukee and learn about the stuff that you don't know. I've been doing it now that I went more into this space of community work. I've had to go out, and you got to go out and figure out what's going on in these spaces and pop up in these spaces and see what's going on. Because if you don't, you're just going to be sitting here making comments and talking about stuff you don't even know what's going on. You need to just sit out. If this is not a conversation where you're trying to research and actually, analyze or understand what the office is or what folks out on the ground are doing in certain spaces, community, political, you really need to sit it out. This is for people who are trying to analyze and be more on some, educational uplifting versus just sitting there and making stagnant comments.
And the more you inform, the more you play a part in your community.
Thank you.
You understand resources.
Yeah.
When unfortunately people pass, the text messages start coming. Do you know where we can? Do you know where we can? Do you know where we can? These, like, the more we know, the more we would know where to go get these resources. These resources, and it's no fault of any in particular individual.
No,
we just got to be better going forward with understanding what everything is, not just what the Office of Community Wellness Safety got to offer
overall, but
everything everything got to offer. This is an opportunity us to understand more, because the more we know, the more we can make more informed decisions.
That's real. We got another caller, right?
Yep.
All right, y'all got the hotline up today. All right, let's do it. Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices. Good morning.
Hey, good afternoon to you. Good morning. I've been listening. And you guys have been saying some fine things, and about the gentleman that's now picked by the mayor to get in that space. Now, let me ask you a question. If it's not violence prevention anymore, what is the description of this job that my man got? Then I want to just say something and get out the way.
Okay. So I can kind of talk to that. There's a little bit of unknownness to that on all sides, right? I mean, I'm not even going to say that I think anyone has a clarity on exactly what it's supposed to be, and that allows for there to be this opportunity now for the community, for Adam, for all of us to help design what this is going to be for the actual need.
Fine. Okay, got you. I got you. Now check this here out, man. Somebody said the mayor threw a haymaker. It's not a haymaker, man. It's a slip punch. Okay, because Adam might be a swell guy, right? He might be the best thing since sliced bread and canned beer. But at the same time, nobody knows Adam. See, Adam can't right now. I bet you he can't call no real street hood, we're gonna say YNs, to the table. And even for a picnic, even for a banquet, they might come. I don't know.
I disagree.
You can get the majority of them. because he's not a. I don't even know if he's a neighborhood celebrity. See, if who knows the brother, you know, and that sound bite. Well, that wasn't a sound bite. That talking about applying pressure. He was talking to the authorities that had put him in place that had the mayor's ear. We don't know if he's an informant or what he doing, and I have no problem with that if that's what he want to do. You know, if he want to help clean up the streets, that's what he want to do. But he doesn't have the neighborhood celebrityism, okay, to call the players to the table, and that's where prevention and stuff happens. And you talk about the orange man or Donald Trump or 45, whatever you want to call him, out in D.C. Now, I'm not with the police state moving around. I'm against that. But as I sit back and look, you know, D.C. ain't had a homicide in 13, 14 days. It'll be the 14th day. They haven't had a homicide, a shooting. Okay, in 14 days.
Did you know violence was down 40% before that in DC? Did you know violence was down, homicide was down?
Bro, we talking about homicides.
Did you know violence was down?
We ain't gonna get to talking about if they drop down to 40% and 30%.
I'm talking about in DC, brother.
See that before. We talking about ain't no drama happening in 45. I mean in 14 days. No, that's we're playing the political game, man. And let's get serious, man.
Come on, man.
Now I got to get out of here. I wish I would have called earlier. And congratulations to you, man, out here on your 17 years, man. Let's make it a lifetime on these bricks.
Thank you.
But I'm not with that other stuff. So this brother, it's a slip punch. It's not a connection. I mean, if he knocked this one out, then it'll just be a Spinks and Muhammad Ali. He got lucky because I can't see him coming to the table. The people put him in there, man. Okay, the authorities, the police, the people that probably protect our mayor. You know, he got his own little security from downtown. Somebody trusted Adam, okay, and gave him that position. But he cannot call a banquet or a thing for hood players to come to the table of all kind of people. It said, I bet you can't even get 45 people, man. Not players. Not them Negroes that's carrying them things, them U-Digs everywhere. You know, got the U-Digs on them everywhere they go. I can't see him doing that, man.
Hey, well, we're going to need you to do it. We're going to need you to do it. We're going to need you to do it with us, brother.
I do it every, you know what?
We're going to need you to do it. We're going to, and what's your name again? And what's your name again?
Hey, look here, man. They ain't call no name to bear no blame, baby. I'm that nigga, man. You know, I make it happen.
Appreciate you. Thanks for calling, definitely. All right, so any backup behind that?
I wanted to use that opportunity. I mean, like, you ain't gonna please everybody. Some cast is gonna have to see the work before they get convinced. It is what it is. I'm not, ain't no point in chasing some of them. I appreciate his commentary. As you said, so I like you have that skill set. That's exactly like Adam can't do everything. None of us can do everything. That's the whole point. So, but the element I think I want to talk about from it is the process, right? There's been a lot of complaints around the process of how it happened. And I think anyone who's managed a large organization, even like a medium lane organization, they understand that you don't always choose who was in the initial group. Sometimes you're not happy with who was in the initial group. I'm not the mayor. I wasn't there for that decision. All I know is that the way this went down and the framing of it as unfair and that Adam wasn't given a chance to come see people. People are hired all the time for roles that the community doesn't come see. Like that happens all the time. If he had done this without even making it open to the public in the first place, it would have never been the same level of commentary because no one would even known. It would have just been announced, and it would have been people are mad because they felt like they were brought to the table and their voice disregarded. But consider this: the voice was still there, the commentary was still there, the questions were still made, everything was still considered at those forums. But the mayor, again, I'm not the mayor, I'm not defending him. It can very well be said that he took all of that commentary and said, "This is what people are saying. People are not content with what we have. Let's go back to the drawing board. We don't have another 4 months to do this. I have somebody I think fits exactly what I'm hearing." So I'm the chief executive of the city's decision to actually do that. Now you can criticize the decision because he doesn't have maybe the proper level of like credentials. That's fine. That's the one thing I think is appropriate. But it's a little too over the top, I think, to say he wasn't put in front of everybody and the community didn't get a chance to see him. That happens all the time. People are put in positions.
So with dealing with a situation like this, and you're putting him out in the community, this is just my opinion. I think they should have put him in front of the people and let the people judge, because he's going to deal with the people. He's going to have to deal with them. The city officials that's putting him in place, they go home to their peaceful neighborhoods. They don't have to deal with what the community, the inner city, deals with. So if we're gonna have the real conversation, put him in front of the people,
Right?
So the people can get a feel for who is in charge. Because then again, that's how you build. Can I trust you or not?
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm in the neutral zone. I'm just
and that is
I'm
gonna happen too. I mean,
Yeah.
like it's just after the fact.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Team
think
read is
like
happening.
those are like 1000% valid. Like that's valid. I wish he could have gotten in front of
Right.
the people. I wish it because
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying.
'Cause
Like
people came out. I went to the first
Yeah.
session at South Division, but yeah, I mean North. I don't know the traffic, but I heard North was pretty busy too as well.
Yeah, I heard it was people representing. You know what I'm saying? People,
Yeah.
and that's dope.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty dope that people come out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, to express, because let's be honest, in this industry and doing this type of work, we don't show up.
At all.
We don't advocate for
Right.
ourselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We don't show up at common council meetings about things. Like it's a lot of things that we don't do. So, you know, for people to show up and have a voice and be interested in it, that's incredibly dope. And we cannot shy away from doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's just that this process, the way it happened, he's here where he's at. And one thing that he said that I think would be incredible if we latched on to is that I'm gonna listen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's something to hold somebody accountable to. You said you was gonna listen.
Yeah.
So
hear me
anybody
out.
that don't feel like they've been heard,
Yeah.
you have a legitimate gripe, because he stood in front of the camera amongst other things that he said and said that I'm gonna listen. You know what I'm saying? That's something that in the community we don't feel like we've heard, we've been heard, that we've seen. So if you got somebody that tell you that this is what I'm willing to do, and then they don't do it, then that person should be held extraordinarily accountable.
We doing that as well, right? We not sitting here
And
just
we
like
holding-
riding for. We definitely
Yeah, we holding. I'm holding him accountable for certain things.
It's
Just
definitely
like
not just
yeah.
us giving him a blank. That's not the way this happens.
No, for sure.
Because we the community.
Yeah.
We the community. That just ain't the homie. That's the community.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how can we talk about mental health? How can we talk about sexual
Right.
abuse? How can we talk about food deserts? Let's get this cracking.
Right.
It's just the community right now.
Yeah. Well, I thank y'all for coming on. I think hey, look,
Man,
shout out to the viewers, shout out to y'all for just tapping in, everybody. Anything else real quick, or we at the mark, right? So I'll just run it out.
Appreciate y'all. Thank
Hey,
you.
if we can get Adam, man, if we get Adam to come on, I love him to come on and be a voice. I know y'all got the connections to him. Tell him I would love to just have a great interview
just
with
can't
him
wear
so
no
the people
suit.
get to know. Yeah, no suit. Yeah. We do a relaxed interview. Yeah, absolutely. So Adam, if you listening, come on the show, come to be a voice. We'll reach out to you through